You know, when we think of legends of the game, those unforgettable players who left an indelible mark on the court, we often envision them clutching that glorious Larry O'Brien trophy. But what about those incredible athletes, those superstar talents who gave their all night in and night out, only to come up short? What about the ones who, despite their incredible skills, never tasted the sweet victory of an NBA championship? We're talking about the likes of Reggie Miller, Charles Barkley, John Stockton, and Steve Nash. These icons of the game left their imprints on basketball history. But that elusive ring forever slipped through their fingers. And they're not alone, my friends, not by a long shot. What about the electrifying Russell Westbrook, the deadly Damian Lillard, and the prolific scorers Carmelo Anthony and Paul George? How about the bearded magician James Harden and the high-flying Blake Griffin? These are all phenomenal players who, despite their remarkable skills, find themselves yearning for that ultimate prize, the NBA championship. But today, our focus is on one of the most respected floor generals of this generation. A man who possesses an unrivaled basketball IQ, lightning-fast handles, and an unbreakable will to win. Chris Paul himself. Oh, CP3, the king of court vision. He's been a force to be reckoned with throughout his illustrious career, earning numerous accolades, all-star appearances, and even leading his team deep into the playoffs. But there's a void in his illustrious career, a void shaped like a championship ring. Today, we embark on a journey through the highs and lows, the near misses and heartbreaks, as we delve into the soul of Chris Paul, who has come so close, only to have the championship dream slip through his fingers time and time again. Stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into the captivating world of CP3, where triumph and heartache dance on the hardwood. This man has battled through more adversity than most players can even fathom during his incredible 18-year journey through the NBA. From New Orleans to the Clippers, to the Houston Rockets, and now to Phoenix, CP3 has witnessed firsthand how an unexpected injury can throw an entire franchise off track. Over the years, CP3 has only made it to the NBA Finals once. Just once. For a player of his caliber, that's an agonizing statistic. This year, when the Phoenix Suns added the incredible Kevin Durant to their roster mid-season, fans and experts alike thought that this would be the turning point. The year CP3 finally gets his well-deserved ring. The anticipation was palpable, but as often happens in sports, the outcome didn't match the expectations. The Suns, who were the favorites to win the 2023 NBA championship, had their journey abruptly cut short by the Denver Nuggets and their star, Nikola Jokic. Let's rewind the clock a bit. We remember that heartbreaking moment when Chris Paul fractured his hand and battled through a nagging hamstring injury during his time with the Clippers. In Houston, he faced a whole new set of challenges. His hamstring injury, which seemed to haunt him like a recurring nightmare, struck again. But that wasn't all. He had to face the relentless shooting of none other than the remarkable Stephen Curry. Letdowns and poorly timed injuries have left their mark on Paul's playoff history. Remember those Los Angeles Clippers teams? They were loaded with talent, but somehow they often fell short of expectations. Then came the 2018 Western Conference Finals. Paul finally had a chance to conquer his past demons with the Houston Rockets. They were on the verge of something special against the Golden State Warriors, but fate had a cruel twist in store for Paul. In the dying moments of Game 5, when victory was within their grasp, Paul suffered a devastating injury. Houston lost the next 2 games, and even Chris Paul called the injury the biggest regret of his Rockets tenure. However, hope emerged when CP3 made his move to the Phoenix Suns. Finally, he found himself experiencing the height of playoff success that had eluded him for so long. The Suns soared, and Paul played a crucial role in their journey to the 2021 NBA Finals. But even as the Suns went up 2-0 against the eventual champions, the Milwaukee Bucks, fate had another cruel twist. Injuries once again reared their ugly head, affecting his performance when it mattered most. Hand and wrist injuries from the previous rounds haunted him. As he struggled to take care of the ball, the Bucks capitalized on turnovers and climbed back into the series. Questions about CP3's health emerged, and unfortunately, the Suns never regained control of the series. And in this season's 2022-23 playoff run, he suffered a left groin strain during Game 2 against the Nuggets. It was a devastating blow. It was a devastating blow that abruptly ended his quest for the championship once again. So here we are, at the end of another NBA season, and CP3 finds himself without the coveted championship ring for the 18th time. But let's pause for a moment and ask ourselves, should that define him? His resume speaks for itself. 18 seasons of sheer brilliance on the court, 12 NBA All-Star appearances, with an incredible streak of 9 consecutive All-Star games from 2008 to 2016, 5 assists titles, 6 steals titles, 4 All-NBA first teams, 5 second teams, 2 third teams, and 7 All-Defensive first teams. Need I say more? It's no wonder he was named to the NBA's prestigious 75th anniversary team. If Chris Paul were to retire tomorrow, his place among the all-time greats would be unquestioned. He would undoubtedly be regarded as one of the top 30 players in NBA history. When it comes to point guards, only the likes of Magic Johnson, Oscar Robertson, John Stockton, Isaiah Thomas, and Stephen Curry are mentioned ahead of him. And let's not forget, in the post-Michael Jordan era, Chris Paul is undoubtedly one of the top 10 players, right alongside icons such as LeBron James, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Durant, Dwayne Wade, Stephen Curry, Kevin Garnett, and Dirk Nowitzki. Despite not having a ring to show for it, it doesn't diminish his reputation as a true clutch performer. I mean, this guy has shown up in the playoffs a remarkable 15 times out of his 18-year career. However, despite his consistent playoff appearances, CP3 has only reached the NBA Finals once. And unfortunately for him and the Phoenix Suns, they let a 2-0 lead slip away against the Milwaukee Bucks. Heartbreaking, right? Apart from that, Chris Paul has a Western Conference Finals appearance, 7 trips to the Western Conference semifinals, and 6 appearances in the Western Conference first round. Of course, there were a few instances where he missed the playoffs, but let's focus on the positive here. This man is no stranger to the postseason. From the moment he made his playoff debut back in 2008, dropping 35 points, 10 assists, and 4 steals, CP3 has consistently been a force of nature in the postseason. Throughout 149 playoff games, Chris Paul has averaged an impressive 20 points per game, 4.9 rebounds per game, and 8.3 assists per game. Let me repeat that. 20 points, nearly 5 rebounds, and over 8 assists per game in the playoffs. That's some legendary production right there. With a postseason record of 76 wins and 73 losses, Chris Paul has battled it out in 27 intense playoff series over his illustrious 18-year career. He's currently ranked 3rd in all-time assists and steals, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest point guards in NBA history. At peace. But here's the thing, guys. Chris Paul doesn't believe he needs a shiny championship ring to validate his incredible career. In a recent interview on the Old Man in the 3 podcast with JJ Redick, CP3 said, "Some years ago, you would have asked me that, like while you were talking, like my stomach would have started getting tight, something like that. But I'm so at peace, like for real. But when I say that, man, I'm gonna fight my off to win this championship this year, the next year, whenever it may be." He also mentioned that he feels incredibly grateful and blessed to still be playing basketball at a high level, and that he's one of the few remaining players from his 2005 draft class. And he even said that there are probably a ton of players out there who would love to trade places with him. I mean, who wouldn't want to be in his shoes? Now, what's next for Chris Paul? Let's be real here. Chris Paul is undeniably a talented player, but he's not quite the all-star caliber guy he used to be. It's just a fact. Plus, injuries have been giving him a hard time lately. Take, for example, the Western Conference Finals against the Nuggets. Chris only managed to make appearances in the first 2 games. Speaking of injuries, it's worth mentioning that he was expected to make a comeback in Game 6, but unfortunately, he just wasn't healthy enough to take the court. Tough break for CP3 and the Suns. Ah well. So what's next for this veteran point guard? Well, it looks like the Suns are leaning toward running it back next season. That makes sense, right? I mean, it'll be the franchise's first full season with Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton as their core. That's a lineup with serious potential. However, here's the thing. The Suns bench is lacking depth, especially since that Durant trade went down. So they'll be searching high and low for some quality players to strengthen their roster. After all, you need a solid supporting cast to make a championship run. But hold up, there's another possibility on the horizon if Chris Paul's decline continues, and let's hope it doesn't. The Suns might consider trading him for a younger player who can take charge at the point. It's a tough decision to make, but hey, it's all about the team's long-term success. So here's the bottom line. The upcoming season could very well be Chris Paul's last shot at an NBA title. That's right, his final chance to hoist that championship trophy above his head. Let's see if he can make it happen. What do you think? Will Chris Paul and the Suns run it back or explore a potential trade? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, hit that subscribe button and smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss any of our NBA content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Chill.